You are listening to One Sitting Stories. This is the story of three little pigs and their hillside adventure. The three little pigs were called Pippa, Percy, and Penny. All three of them lived with their mama pig in a cozy little house made of straw. One sunny morning, the three little pigs decided to go on an adventure. Mama Pig gave them a big hug and said, "Have fun, my little piglets, but be careful." With permission from their mama, the three little pigs went out into the beautiful countryside. They skipped and hopped along the path until they reached a beautiful hillside. It looked so exciting. Pippa, who was the bravest of the three, said, "Let us climb up the hill and see what is on the other side." Percy and Penny agreed, so they started climbing. Up and up they went, giggling and cheering each other on. Finally, they reached the top and gasped in surprise. There, right in front of them, was a magical forest filled with tall trees and colorful flowers. It looked like something from a storybook. The three little pigs squealed with delight. They hopped and jumped and ran into the forest. They played hide and seek behind the trees and smelled the sweet scent of the flowers. There they found a little stream sparkling in the sunlight. "Oh, how refreshing!" said Penny. They all splashed and played in the water. After some time, they got tired and hungry. That is when they remembered Mama Pig. "You should never stay hungry for long," Mama Pig used to tell them. The three pigs knew that if they stayed hungry, they would have less energy to study and play. The three pigs decided it was time for a snack. But they also knew that they can't eat just anything. What they eat has to be clean and healthy. So they searched around and around, and after some time, they discovered a big apple tree. The tree was covered in juicy red apples. Pippa, Percy, and Penny ate all the apples and laughed as the juice dripped down their chins. "Yummy!" they shouted, feeling happy and satisfied. As the sun started to set, the three little pigs began to miss their home, and they missed their mama pig. They thanked the magical forest for the wonderful adventure and said goodbye to the stream and the apple tree. Holding hands, they carefully made their way down the hillside, singing a little piggy song as they went. When they reached their cozy little house made of straw, Mama Pig was waiting for them. It was getting dark, and she was worried. When she saw them, she was so happy. "Oh, my brave little explorers," Mama Pig said, "did you have a wonderful adventure?" Pippa, Percy, and Penny nodded and told Mama Pig all about the magical forest, the sparkling stream, and the yummy apples. Mama Pig smiled and tucked them into bed. As they drifted off to sleep, the three little pigs knew that they would always treasure their special adventure on the hillside.
Hello kids, do you remember the three little pigs? Their names were Pippa, Percy and Penny, and they lived with their mama pig in a straw house. They were siblings and also great friends, and they were always seen together, all three of them. They played together, they slept together, they ate together. At times they fought, but mostly they cleared their misunderstanding and patched up soon. One day, the three little pigs told Mama Pig that they are bored of playing in front of the house. The three little pigs had recently seen a magical forest and wanted to go there again, so they asked for Mama Pig's permission to go explore it again. Have fun, my little piglets, and as always, be careful, Mama Pig said. The three little pigs began to walk towards the hill, skipping and hopping along the path. When they reached the hillside, they were so happy. Let us climb up the hill and see who reaches first, Pippa said. Percy and Penny agreed, so they started climbing. Up and up they went, giggling and cheering each other on. They reached the hilltop together and gasped with surprise and happiness. The magical forest was there, right in front of them. So many tall trees and colorful flowers. Colorful birds sat on the branches of the tree. It was much more beautiful than before. The three little pigs squealed with delight. They played hide and seek behind the trees and smelled the sweet scent of the flowers. Then they searched for the little stream that sparkled in the sunlight. They all splashed and played in the water. Time flew by, and the sky began to change its colors. The sun started to set, casting a warm orange glow over the forest. Percy looked up and said, Oh, it's getting late. We need to head back home before it gets dark." They hurriedly made their way out of the forest and back to the hillside. But as they reached the top, they realized it was steeper than they thought. To descend the steep hill in such little light could be dangerous. The little pigs looked at each other, their tiny hearts starting to beat faster. Percy said with a worried voice, "Oh no, how will we get down? It is getting dark and we might get lost." "I'm scared, Pippa. What do we do?" Penny said. Pippa took a deep breath and thought for a moment. She looked around and spotted a big, sturdy tree nearby. "Don't worry, my siblings," she said, trying to sound confident. "We'll climb that tree and stay there until morning. Then we can find our way back home." With careful steps, the three little pigs climbed the tree and nestled themselves in its branches. They cuddled close together. Mama Pig's words echoed in their minds. "Be careful," Mama Pig had said. The three piglets knew they had to stay calm and think of a solution. As night fell, the stars twinkled in the sky and the moon shone brightly. Pippa, Percy, and Penny began to whisper stories to each other so that they didn't get scared in the darkness. They began to sing soft piggy songs and wished upon the stars for a safe journey back home. Morning came, and the sun's rays peeked through the leaves of the tree. The three little pigs stretched and yawned, feeling relieved to see the light. They carefully climbed down from the tree, holding on to each other's hands, and started their descent down the hillside. Step by step, they made their way down, and soon enough, they reached the bottom of the hill. Pippa, Percy, and Penny looked at each other, their eyes sparkling with a mix of adventure and accomplishment. They had learned an important lesson. Sometimes things don't go as planned, but it is important to be careful and calm. They were grateful for each other and their Mama Pig. He always taught them to be brave and careful. As the three little pigs walked towards their home, they knew that Mama Pig would be worried. They decided to tell her the truth, and they promised each other that in the future they will always be back home on time.